Consumers these days are looking for better-for-you fresh food options, and nothing fits the bill like salads. Salad dressing manufacturers want to offer solutions with clean labels made from real ingredients. The challenge is how to do this with moderate levels of fat and sodium, yet without sacrificing flavor. Hi, I'm Barb Stuckey, and I'm here to talk about 3 classic salad dressings and one remarkable ingredient that can give them all a healthy makeover: Kikkoman less sodium soy sauce. Yep, this iconic product from the grocery store shelves is also a functional ingredient in formulation. Traditionally brewed in the US from 4 North American ingredients: water, wheat, soybeans, and salt, its rich umami flavor develops over time. Salt is an integral part of the fermentation process, so Kikkoman removes the sodium, 37% of it, afterwards, so the umami remains. Caesar dressing is all about umami. With its Parmesan cheese and anchovies, it's an umami bomb, so it's the perfect application for this ingredient. So what do we have going on here?
So here I took a classic formula for Caesar dressing: lemon juice, garlic, aged Parmesan cheese. But instead of adding salt or anchovies, I was able to replace those ingredients with Kikkoman less sodium soy sauce.
And we were going for a sodium reduction. How much did we achieve?
We achieved 36% sodium reduction in the finished product.
Let's taste. So I get that rich, mouth-filling umami quality. And it tastes savory, but I don't specifically taste soy sauce.
Right, and we were actually really mindful of that when formulating. So we used the less sodium soy sauce at a threshold level of about 5%, so you get all of the flavor without recognizing it as soy sauce.
Also, I can't see it. It, in fact, looks like a classic Caesar dressing in color.
Right.
Did you have to add anything else to compensate for the lack of sodium, like sugar, for example?
We didn't, and in fact, adding sugar is very common, but we didn't have to do that because Kikkoman less sodium soy sauce is so plentiful in other notes that we weren't missing the body.
The other thing that I love about this is that I don't get any of those bitter notes that you sometimes get from some of the ingredients that we would typically use for sodium reduction.
Right, it's super clean.
When you're talking about better-for-you salad dressings, you can't ignore fat. So we wanted to see if we could use Kikkoman less sodium soy sauce to reduce the fat. And so we're going to look at a creamy balsamic, which is another one of the top flavors.
So here I formulated a standard creamy balsamic dressing that is based on a vinegar oil emulsion, but in an attempt to reduce fat, I obviously had to back down on the oil. But we didn't want to miss that full mouthfeel, so I added that back using some soy sauce.
Well, it's interesting because if you think about balsamic vinegar and how it's aged, at least the good stuff is, then it ends up being a really expensive ingredient.
It does.
Soy sauce is also aged using a similar process, and so they're really complementary ingredients. So I'm really curious to see how this works. It's got a nice, bright, assertive acidity, but not too sharp. And the Kikkoman soy sauce is bringing a roundness, sort of a depth of flavor that usually comes from a really nice, expensive balsamic vinegar.
Right, and it fills your mouth because of those fermentation notes, but it's not mouth coating. It's not oily and fatty in the mouth.
In fact, we were trying to get the fat down, so were we successful?
We were. We reduced it by 20%. And then because we used a low sodium soy sauce, we were able to also reduce the sodium by 80%, which is pretty significant.
80%?
Yeah.
So that's a really nice side benefit.
It was.
Now, what if we wanted to move on and talk about removing the fat entirely?
a little bit more challenging.
Yep. We know that fat-free dressings are a challenge. We know that they're usually thin and lacking in body. So we wanted to see if we could use Kikkoman less sodium soy sauce to create a fat-free dressing. So this is a mango chipotle dressing. It's that combination of sweet fruit and heat. And that gives us a nice starting place. And we picked a Latin flavor, which doesn't seem intuitive because you don't really think about soy sauce as being an ingredient in Latin cuisine. So tell me what's in this dressing.
So here we use a mango puree and a non-fat yogurt. So again, there's no fat, but those two elements do help with some body for the dressing. But then we needed to add back those umami notes and the bigger mouthfeel that fat brings. So we used less sodium soy sauce.
It's got the right balance of sweet and heat. Not too much of either. And I also feel like the soy sauce is kind of unifying the flavors, so there's a more coherent whole. You
Right.
don't really miss the fat.
Right, and a lot of times in a non-fat dressing, you have the acid and sugar and saltiness really out of balance because fat tends to round everything together, but we were able to accomplish that with soy sauce.
All right, so we were trying to get the fat down, and we know that the competitive mango chipotle dressing has about 4.5 grams of fat. So how much is in ours?
0.
Excellent. So we were able to get there with a really beautiful, delicious salad dressing.
We were.
Many people think of soy sauce as an ingredient in Asian cuisine. I hope you now know that Kikkoman less sodium soy sauce is a hard-working natural flavor enhancer that can be your secret weapon in delivering all types of better-for-you foods with the big flavor that people love.